Okay, guys. So welcome to personal finance project, I guess I would say, or unit. This will take us probably a few weeks, and I just wanna touch maybe basis because a lot of people asking me, well, why don't we learn something useful like filing taxes? Well, I'm going to show you a little bit about filing taxes, personal financing, balancing your checkbook, and I'm going to give you some tools that help you with it. Okay, so first thing I want to point out, in 2019, workers without high school diplomas earned, I think this is a starting salary, $24,000 annually. That means per year. Workers with high school diploma were 6,000 more almost. And then workers that complete some college were just a little bit more than those who just have high school diploma. But if you have a bachelor's degree, that means 4-year university, that's look at this, 19,000 more. And then if you have a master's degree or higher, it was around $60,000. So your paper said that you live in Illinois and the minimum wage is $8.25, which is actually true because I know that they voted to bring it up to 15, but that's going to take a few years until that's actually going to happen. So at this moment, this is what you're going to be dealing with. For purpose of this paper, I'm not going to use $8.25 because I would solve the problems for you. Let's say I'm making $9 per hour. Okay. And if you work full-time, your annual salary will not be this because I'm going to make more. How do I find annual salary? Well, if you make $9 per hour full-time, let's say you work 40 hours a week. Okay, and then we need to think about how many weeks there are in the year. There are 56 weeks in the year. So if you multiply all this, by the way, if you guys don't have a calculator, there is an online calculator that you can use. It's Desmos. And then I'm using the scientific calculators. Desmos has different calculators. They have graphing and so on. But right now we're going to use scientific. So I'm going to clear this all out. I'm going to take $9, multiply by 40 hours, multiply by 56 weeks. So what's going to turn out? We're making $20,160 a year. Okay, which in this case for us, I guess this is the overall in the whole country, so the minimum wage is different for states, so we're gonna make a little bit less actually than average person without high school diploma in this country. But let's stick with this. That's how much money we're gonna make per year. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, and so we need to calculate some of the things. Example is on the bottom of the page, but I also going to go over this example. So calculate monthly salary. Well, if I have an annual salary, and annual means a year, and I know there's 12 months in a year, if I divide the number by 12, that's going to give me how much money I'm making a month. So I'm going to make $1,680 a month. It seems like a lot of money. Okay. But then on your paycheck, you're going to see something called Social Security and Medicare withholding. Social Security is you paying for your own retirement. And I have to tell you, whatever they take out of your paycheck for how many years you work, this is not really a lot, but you're really paying for your own retirement. Medicare, you're paying for your own medical insurance after you retire. So currently the percent for those is 7.65% total together. Now, so what we're going to do, we're going to take the monthly income and multiply by 7.65%. But again, we don't want to multiply by percent when I change it into decimal. And how do I change it into decimal? I divide it per 100. So that will give me 0.0765. Now I have 1,680 multiplied by 0.0765. It turns out that every month they're gonna take away $128.52 from my future retirement and social and Medicare. Okay, so that's one piece of information that I'm gonna need later. Next thing, there are also federal taxes, and federal taxing depends how much money you actually make, and what is your status. If you are single, married, filing jointly. So for now, let's say we're single, but if you are married, you can file jointly your taxes. That means you and your spouse, you filing it together. You put everything you make together, and that's how you calculate taxes. You can also do it separate, and there's something called head of a house, which is a little bit more complicated. We don't have to go in. So let's say we're single. So at this moment, if you're single, depending on how much money you make per year, that's how much taxes they're going to take out. The more money you make, the more taxes they take out. So we are not between 0 and 9,700. We're between 9,701 and 39,475. So they're going to take 12% for federal taxes. So what do? I take my monthly income. Okay, and again, I'm not doing anything with this yet. I'm still working with my regular monthly income that I would get, and I have to multiply by 12%. That is changed into decimal percent. So I'm gonna take 1,680 multiplied by 12%, so 0.12, and it turns out that the federal government is taking $201.60 from me every month. Okay, and then after that, let's move to the next page. Oh, by the way, this is another piece of information we're gonna need. If you are guys doing, obviously many of you or most of you cannot print this out, so I'm not asking you to do so, but I want you to put the calculation somewhere in one place, because we're going to be coming back to this. So maybe put monthly salary in one place, then Social Security and Medicare withholdings, federal taxes, so you know where is it, where to find it. Okay, so the next page we have is to find they're going to take state taxes, and we live in Illinois, so our state taxes at this moment is 6.25%. Again, we're going to take my monthly income and multiply by 6.25%. that is changed into decimal. 6.25% is 0.0625. Okay, when I do that, I'm going to have 1,680 multiplied by 0.0625. Okay, now how much money you bring together? So every month, so you make $1,680. You have to take away the Medicare, Social Security and Medicare, which is $128.52. You have to take away the federal taxes, 201.60, and you have to take state taxes, and this amount is going to give you how much you actually take home. Now, most of the places that you're going to work for, they're going to offer insurance, and that's going to be another take off from your health insurance. It's going to take off from paycheck, but because they're so different, I'm not going to put any here. Okay, so let's say your parents at this moment are paying for insurance. I'm gonna have to take 1,680. I'm gonna subtract the 128.52 for Medicare, Social Security. I'm gonna take 201.60 for federal taxes and 105 for state taxes. So the amount of money that I take home is 1,245.88. Okay, still looking good, but not as good as 1,600. There's another example that I left on this because I wasn't planning to do the video, but I decided to do it because it might be a little bit confusing. So this is example when the teacher's assistant, it was from year 2014. Teacher assistant is making $19,070 per year. First step for us was divide that for 12. That's going to give you a monthly payment, monthly income. Then we use Social Security, which hasn't changed, monthly income, and multiply by 7.65%, change into decimal. This is how much they're gonna take from Social Security. Federal taxes, this was 9%, but again, federal taxes change. For us was 12%, but same idea. You take monthly income, multiply by whatever percent for taxes, that's how much you're going to take. And then state taxes of 6 years ago was only 5%. Now it's 6.25. But the same idea, you take your income, you multiply by 5% in this case in decimal, and this is how much the tax is going to take from you. And to get how much money you're actually going to get is taking the monthly income and take away each withholding, and that's going to give you the amount of money that you're going to bring home. It looks like we actually going to bring home the same amount of money, but making more money than the teacher assistant in 2014, but our taxes were higher. So that's why it brought us down to almost the same amount. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this is a little bit complicated, but I think this is going to be a lot more useful for you